Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Level Up English. I am Sarah.
And I am Alex. It is so good to be back.
Alex, can you hear that sound outside? The rain is absolutely pouring down today.
I know, I love it. It makes the studio feel like a little safe bunker. Actually, that is why I made us this hot chocolate.
Oh, thank you. It smells amazing. You know, on a rainy day like this, coffee feels too aggressive. Hot chocolate is just right.
Exactly. So to our listeners, wherever you are, maybe you are stuck in traffic and watching the rain on your windshield, or maybe you are at home, folded up in a blanket. We want you to just relax. Take a deep breath with us.
Yes, let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. For the next hour, you don't need to worry about anything. Just listen to our voices.
I have to ask you, how are you really doing today? And remember our rule, no fake answers.
You always keep me honest. Well, listening to this rain, I feel peaceful, but also a little bit reflective. What about you, Alex? How are you feeling?
Well, to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit restless today.
Restless. That is an interesting word.
Yeah, restless. It's that feeling when you cannot sit still. My body is here in the chair, but my mind is running around. I keep checking my phone or tapping my foot. I just feel unsettled.
I think I know that feeling. Why do you think you feel restless?
Well, my birthday is coming up next month.
Oh, happy early birthday. That should be exciting.
Thank you. It is exciting, I guess, but birthdays also make me anxious. I start counting the numbers. I start looking at my life and thinking, what have I achieved?
Ah, the birthday crisis. It's very common.
It really is. I look at my friends. My friend Mike just bought this beautiful house. My friend Jenny got a huge promotion and now she's a manager. And then I look at myself and I think, am I falling behind?
Alex, comparing yourself to others is the fastest way to be unhappy. But I understand. You feel like you don't have a solid plan.
Exactly. I feel like everyone else has a map and I'm just wandering around without one.
Well, that's exactly what we are going to talk about today. Our topic is future plans and dreams, but we're not going to talk about resumes or business goals. We're going to talk about the emotions, the fear, the anxiety.
Oh, you mean like that terrible question people ask in job interviews?
Which one?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, I hate that question. It's the worst.
It makes me sweat. I want to scream, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. How can I know where I'll be in 5 years?
It's a lot of pressure. We feel like if we don't have a perfect answer, we're failures.
Right, and that pressure paralyzes us. So before we get too deep, let's ask our listeners how they feel.
Yes, it's time for our question of the day. We want you to finish this sentence in your head or write it in the comments.
The sentence is, when I think about the future, I feel, and then you add your emotion.
For example, you might say, when I think about the future, I feel excited. Maybe you're getting married soon.
Or you might be like me and say, when I think about the future, I feel foggy.
Foggy. That is a beautiful description. Like the weather?
Yes, like when there is thick fog on the road and you can't see anything. You know something is there, but it's just white and gray.
I think many of our listeners feel that fog. Actually, Alex, that reminds me of the email we received this week from Lucas. It fits this topic perfectly.
Oh yes, Lucas, that was a powerful email. Do you want me to read it?
Please do.
Okay. Lucas writes, Hi Sarah and Alex. I'm 29 years old. I've been working at my company for 4 years. It's a good job. My parents are proud of me.
That sounds like a good life.
But wait, he continues. But every morning when I wake up, I feel heavy. I don't want to go to work. I have a secret dream to be a baker. I love making bread, but I'm terrified to quit my job. I don't know if I have talent, so I just stay in my safe job. I feel like a coward. Am I wasting my life?
Oh, Lucas, Hearing that makes my heart hurt. He used such a strong word, coward.
Yeah, he thinks he's a coward because he's scared. But Lucas, if you're listening, you're not a coward.
No, absolutely not. You're just human. It's completely natural to be afraid of leaving a safe place. We call that the comfort zone.
The comfort zone. It's like your bed on a rainy morning like today. It's warm, it's soft, and it's safe. Leaving that bed to go out into the cold rain requires a lot of energy.
Exactly. Lucas is standing at a crossroads. One road is his safe job. He knows that road. The other road is his dream, but that road is dark.
And because he's scared, he freezes. He doesn't move at all. We call this analysis paralysis.
Analysis paralysis. That means you think so much and you analyze every detail that you become paralyzed. You cannot move.
I've definitely been there. I think we all have. So Lucas and everyone else who feels stuck, this episode is for you.
Yes. Today, we're going to help you navigate that fog. We're going to give you 3 tiny steps to start moving. We're not saying you have to quit your job tomorrow. That's too scary.
Right. We're talking about small steps. But first, Sarah, I want to go back to that image of the fog. I think it helps us understand why we're so scared.
Curious. Tell us more about the fog metaphor.
Imagine you're driving a car at night. The weather is terrible, just like today. Rain and thick fog. You turn on your headlights.
I'm imagining it. My hands are tight on the steering wheel.
Now, Sarah, can you see the city you're traveling to? Can you see the destination?
I can only see a few meters in front of the car.
Exactly. You can only see the next 5 meters. But the mistake we make, the mistake Lucas is making, is trying to look through the fog. We strain our eyes to see 5 years into the future.
And when we can't see it, we panic. We think we're lost.
We stop the car. But the truth is, you don't need to see the destination to keep driving.
That's a powerful thought. So how do we drive without seeing the end?
Ah, that is the secret. Well, think about it, Sarah. When you drive at night with your headlights on, how far can you actually see? Maybe 5 or 10 meters?
Yeah, not far. Just the little patch of road right in front of the car.
Exactly. But here's the magic. Can you drive 100 kilometers only seeing 5 meters at a time?
Well, yes, as long as you keep moving forward, those 5 meters keep updating, and eventually you arrive at the destination.
Precisely. You don't need to see the destination to get there. You just need to see the next headlight.
The next headlight. I like that. It sounds so much less scary than the 5-year plan.
It is. This is our first tiny step for Lucas and for everyone listening. Stop looking for the destination. Just look for the next headlight.
So, in real life, what is a headlight? For Lucas, who wants to be a baker but is scared.
A headlight is a short-term goal. Not 5 years, not 1 year, just 1 month.
1 month? That's it?
Yes, because 5 years is overwhelming.
Ooh, that's a big word. Overwhelming. Can you explain that feeling?
Sure. To be overwhelming means something is so big and heavy that you feel crushed by it. It's like standing under a giant waterfall. You can't breathe. Thinking about quitting a job and opening a bakery is overwhelming.
It really is. It feels impossible.
But is baking 1 loaf of bread this Sunday overwhelming?
No, that's easy.
Exactly. That's his next headlight. Just bake bread this Sunday, or maybe sign up for a weekend baking class next week. Just focus on that.
And once he does that, the car moves forward a little bit. The fog clears just a tiny bit more.
Yes, and then he can decide the next 5 meters. Maybe he likes it, maybe he doesn't.
You know, Alex, that leads to another fear I think people have. They're scared to move the car because they think, what if I take the wrong road?
Oh, the fear of making a mistake. What if I waste my time?
Right. What if I study to be a baker, but then I realize I hate waking up at 4 a.m.?
That is a very real fear. It's the fear of commitment. We think we have to marry our career immediately.
Marry the career. That sounds serious. So how do we solve that?
Well, I have a second tiny step for this. And since we're drinking hot chocolate, let's use a food metaphor.
You know I love food metaphors. Go ahead.
Okay, imagine you go to a very fancy, expensive restaurant. You've never eaten there before. You sit down and you look at the menu.
Okay, I'm hungry.
There's a giant steak on the menu. It costs $100.
$100? That's an expensive steak.
It is. Now, Sarah, if you order that steak and you take one bite and you hate it, how do you feel?
Oh, I would feel terrible. I would feel so guilty. I wasted all that money. I would probably force myself to eat it anyway.
Exactly, and that's what people do with their lives. They pick a career, the expensive steak, and they spend 4 years in university, and then they realize they hate it, but they feel like they have to finish it.
That's tragic. So what should we do instead? Not eat?
No, we should order the tasting menu.
Tasting menu.
Yes, in a fancy restaurant, a tasting menu is like 10 tiny dishes. You get a spoonful of soup, a small piece of fish, a bite of cake. If you don't like the soup, is it a disaster?
No, it was just one spoon. You just wait for the next dish.
Exactly. In life, we need to use the tasting menu strategy. We need to take small bites before we order the big meal. We need to experiment.
Experiment? That sounds like being a scientist.
It is. It's gathering data about yourself. Actually, Sarah, did I ever tell you about my gardening phase?
Your gardening phase? No, I don't think so. Do you have a secret farm I don't know about?
No, I definitely do not. But about 2 years ago, I convinced myself that my dream life was to be a farmer. I wanted to grow my own organic vegetables.
Farmer Alex. I can picture it. Did you wear overalls?
I almost did. I bought a straw hat, I bought expensive soil, I bought 20 different packets of seeds, tomatoes, carrots, peppers. I was so excited. I spent the whole weekend planting them on my balcony.
That sounds lovely, actually. Very peaceful.
It was lovely for 2 days, but then I realized something.
What?
I hate bugs. I really hate bugs, and I hate getting dirt under my fingernails. And the worst part, I forgot to water them.
Oh no, Alex, what happened to the poor vegetables?
It was a tragedy, Sarah. A graveyard of dry tomatoes. They all died in 2 weeks.
Oh, poor tomatoes.
But here's the important part. Was that experience a failure?
You spent money and everything died, so maybe?
No, it was a huge success.
How was it a success?
Because I tasted the gardening dish and I learned that I don't like it. I realized I like the idea of nature, but I don't like the work of farming. That's valuable data. I crossed it off my list and moved on.
That's such a healthy way to look at it. You didn't force yourself to become a farmer for 5 years. You just tried it for 2 weeks.
Exactly. So for Lucas, don't quit your job yet. That's ordering the steak. Instead, try the tasting menu. Volunteer at a bakery on Saturday mornings. See if you like waking up at 4 a.m.
I love that. Date your dream before you marry it.
Haha, date your dream. I'm going to write that down. That's good.
So we have the headlights for short-term focus. We have the tasting menu for experimenting. But Alex, there's one more thing.
What's that?
Sometimes, even if we experiment, we feel lost. We don't even know what to put on the tasting menu. We don't know which direction to drive the car.
Ah, you mean when you don't even have a map?
Exactly. When the map is broken. What do you do then?
Well, when the map is broken, you need a different tool, an older tool.
Is it a magic wand?
I wish. No, it's a compass.
A compass. Okay, I think I know where this is going.
A map gives you specific directions, but a compass, it gives you something much more important. It gives you values.
Values. That's a deep word.
It is, and I think it's the most important part of this whole puzzle. Shall we talk about how to find your compass?
I think we must.
Because honestly, Alex, I feel like most people are walking around with a broken map in their pocket. We are desperately looking for street signs that don't exist anymore.
That is exactly it. We hold onto these maps so tightly. But Sarah, think about the difference between a map and a compass.
Well, a map gives you specific instructions. It says turn left at the post office, go straight for 3 blocks. It shows you the exact road.
Right, and that is great if the road is clear. But life is not a clear road. Life is like that foggy night we talked about. What happens if you're following your map and suddenly there's a landslide or a river where the road used to be?
Then you're stuck. Your map says go straight, but you can't. You panic. You think, oh no, my plan is ruined.
Exactly. That is the problem with maps. They are rigid.
Rigid. That is a strong word. It sounds hard.
It is. Rigid means stiff. It cannot bend. Think of a dry stick. If you try to bend it, it snaps and breaks. A map is rigid. It has only one right answer. If you don't follow it perfectly, you feel like you failed.
I think that's what happened to me in my early 20s. I had a very rigid map. It said, Sarah, you must become a professor.
A professor? Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. I thought that was the only way to be successful. I studied so hard. But deep down, I was unhappy. I felt trapped. But I was scared to stop because I thought, if I'm not a professor, who am I? The map didn't have any other roads.
That is a scary feeling, to feel like you are falling off the map. I had the exact same experience. My map said lawyer.
Lawyer? You? Alex, you are the most relaxed person I know. I cannot imagine you arguing in a courtroom in a suit.
I know, it sounds ridiculous now. But back then, I thought lawyer meant success. So I forced myself. It was like wearing shoes that were 2 sizes too small. It hurt every step.
Because you were following a map that someone else drew for you. It wasn't your map.
Exactly. So eventually, I threw the map away. And that's when I picked up a compass.
So tell us, how is the compass different? How does it help us when we're lost?
A compass doesn't give you instructions. It doesn't say turn left. It simply points north. It tells you the general direction.
Okay, so if there's a mountain in front of you,
The compass still points north. So you can walk around the mountain, you can climb over it, you can even swim across a river. It doesn't matter which path you take, as long as you are moving towards your north.
I love that. It is flexible. You can change your path 100 times, but you're still going the right way.
Yes, that flexibility is freedom. So the big question is, what is your north?
In this metaphor, north isn't a place, right? It's not a city.
No, your north is your values.
Values. We hear that word a lot, but what does it really mean in this context?
Your values are the feelings or principles that make you feel alive. They are the things that matter most to you, deep in your heart.
Can you share yours? What does your compass point to?
Honestly, after I quit the lawyer idea, I realized my north was 2 things: connection and creativity.
Connection and creativity.
Yes, I realized I don't care about the job title. I just want a life where I can connect with people honestly and where I can make things.
And look at you now. You're podcasting, you're connecting with thousands of people, and you're creating this show.
Exactly. I'm following my north. But the specific road, this podcast, was a surprise. I didn't plan this 10 years ago, but because I followed my compass, I ended up here.
That makes so much sense. If you had stayed on the lawyer map, you would be miserable, but following the compass brought you to a place you couldn't even imagine.
Right, so let's go back to Lucas, our listener who wants to be a baker. He thinks his map says baker, but maybe he needs to check his compass first.
That's a good point. Why does he want to be a baker?
Exactly. Is it because he values peace? Is it because he values service, making people happy with food?
If his value is making people happy with food, he doesn't have to open a bakery immediately. That is just one road.
Exactly. He could teach a baking class. He could write a blog about bread. He could just bake for his neighbors. All of those roads head north.
That takes so much pressure off. You don't need to find the perfect job. You just need to find a job that aligns with your compass.
Sarah, what about you? You stopped trying to be a professor. What does your compass say now?
I think for me, my north is curiosity and kindness.
Curiosity and kindness. That fits you perfectly.
Thank you. I realized that any job where I can learn new things, that's the curiosity, and help people feel good, that's the kindness, makes me happy. Being a teacher fits, being a podcaster fits, even being a tour guide would fit.
See, you're safe because no matter what happens to the economy or your company, no one can take your compass away from you. You can always find a new path that goes north.
That really clears the fog, Alex. Even if I can't see the destination, I know I'm walking in the right direction.
Exactly. So for everyone listening, you have a little bit of homework right now.
Oh, I love homework. What do they have to do?
I want you to close your eyes for a second if you can and ask yourself, what makes me feel most alive? Is it freedom? Is it security? Is it adventure? Is it helping others?
Don't overthink it. Just pick 1 or 2 words. That's your north.
And once you have your north, you can start driving through the fog. You might bump into things, you might have to turn around, but you will never be truly lost.
You know, Alex, we've covered so much ground today. We talked about the headlights for the short term, the tasting menu for experimenting, and now the compass for the big direction.
We have. The car is moving nicely now. I think Lucas has a much better set of tools than just a scary map.
Gentle transition. We've used some really beautiful words today. Words like rigid, values, and overwhelming. I think our brains are quite full.
They are. When you learn new emotional concepts, it can be tiring. I think we should slow down the car a little bit.
I agree. Let's take a moment to just breathe and review these treasures we found on the road. It's time for our favorite part of the show.
The calm word tour. I'm ready.
Okay, everyone. Let's take a deep breath together. In and out. The rain is still falling outside, but we have done a lot of important work today.
We really have. We dismantled the scary map, we turned on the headlights, and we found a compass. That is a big journey for a rainy afternoon.
So now, let's collect the treasures we found along the way. Let's do our calm word tour. We will look at the special words we used today, one by one, very slowly.
I am ready. What is the first treasure in our bag?
The first word is restless. You used this at the very beginning, Alex.
Ah, yes, restless. It is that feeling when your body is sitting in a chair, but your mind is running a marathon. You feel anxious. You cannot settle down.
Like when you are waiting for important news, or when you feel like you should be doing something else. That is feeling restless.
Exactly. And usually we feel restless because the future looks, well, that brings us to our second word.
Foggy.
Foggy. We talked about the weather, when thick clouds are on the ground and you cannot see. But emotionally, it means confusion. It means I don't know what is coming next.
And remember, everyone, it is okay to be in the fog. It doesn't mean you were lost. It just means you need to slow down.
Moving on, what is the third word, Sarah? This was a big one.
The third word is overwhelming.
Overwhelming. This is when a feeling or a task is too big. It feels like a giant wave crashing on top of you. You feel small.
Thinking, I must plan the next 10 years of my life right now is overwhelming. It crushes you.
But baking one loaf of bread? That is not overwhelming. That is manageable.
Exactly. Now let's look at the fourth word. This was the problem with the map. The map was rigid.
Rigid. That means stiff, hard, not flexible, like a dry stick that snaps if you try to bend it.
If your plan is, I must be a lawyer or I am a failure, that is a rigid plan, and rigid things break easily when life changes.
So instead of being rigid, we want to follow our values. That is our final and most important word.
Values. These are your internal north, the feelings that matter most to you, like creativity, kindness, freedom, or peace.
Your values are your compass. They never break. They are not rigid. They are always with you, even in the fog.
That was a beautiful tour, Alex. Restless, foggy, overwhelming, rigid, and values.
I hope our listeners can put these words in their pockets and keep them. They are useful tools for life.
You know, Alex, speaking of using these tools, while we were talking, I was thinking about a story from our community.
Oh, which story?
Do you remember Elena? She wrote to us a few months ago. She was in a very similar situation to Lucas.
Elena, yes, she was the accountant, right? She worked with numbers all day, but she felt empty inside.
Yes, she told us that her map said she had to be an accountant until she retired. It was a safe, rigid map, but she was miserable.
And she was scared to quit because she had a family to support. That is a very real pressure. She couldn't just walk away.
Exactly. But do you know what she did? She didn't quit her job. She used the tasting menu idea.
What did she taste?
She started taking a pottery class on Thursday nights, just 2 hours a week. Clay, mud, messy hands.
That sounds like the opposite of accounting. Accounting is clean and precise. Pottery is messy and chaotic.
It is. And she wrote to us recently with an update. She said those 2 hours on Thursday are her north. She said she feels creativity and peace when she touches the clay.
That is beautiful. So she found her values.
Yes, and here's the best part. She's still an accountant. She didn't quit, but she isn't foggy anymore. She's happy because she knows she has pottery waiting for her. The pottery balances the accounting.
Wow, that is such an important lesson. Sometimes we think we need to destroy our whole life to find our dream. We think, I must quit my job and move to Paris.
The dramatic movie ending.
But Elena teaches us that you can just add a little side dish to your menu. You can keep the steak, the job, but add a delicious dessert, the pottery.
Exactly. Her life isn't rigid anymore. It has room for joy.
I hope Lucas is listening to this. You don't need to be a full-time baker tomorrow, Lucas. Just be a Thursday night baker like Elena.
That is enough. That is a victory.
You know, Sarah, hearing Elena's story makes me feel less restless about my birthday.
Really? Why?
Because it reminds me that I don't need to be finished by my birthday. I don't need to have the perfect house or the perfect title. I can just keep tasting new things. I can just keep walking north.
You are still cooking, Alex. You are not a finished meal yet.
I'm definitely not finished. I think I'm still simmering in the pot.
We all are, and that's a good thing.
You know, Sarah, the rain is getting a little softer outside. Can you hear it?
You're right. It's just a gentle drizzle now. The storm is passing.
The fog usually lifts after the rain, doesn't it?
It always does. Eventually, the sun comes out and you can see the road again. But until then, we have our headlights.
We have our headlights, and we have our compass.
We're coming to the end of our hour together. It's been such a cozy journey. But before we say goodbye, I think we have one final message for our friends listening.
Yes, a little closing thought to help you sleep or to help you start your day.
Shall we wrap up this special episode?
Let's do it.
You know, Alex, before we turn off the microphones, I want to make sure our listeners take one thing home with them. We talked about a lot of metaphors today. Cars, fogs, menus, compasses.
We did. It was a lot of information. If you're feeling a little bit tired, that's normal.
So, if you forget everything else we said today, just remember this. You do not need to see the whole map.
No, you really don't. You just need to know your values, your compass, and you just need to take one tiny step, the next headlight.
Just one tiny step. Maybe it's baking bread. Maybe it's learning 5 English words. Maybe it's just resting because you are tired.
Resting is a valid step too. Never forget that.
And I want to say something to everyone listening right now. Alex and we're incredibly proud of you.
Yes, we really are. Think about what you did today. You spent an hour listening to a foreign language. You challenged your brain. You thought about deep, difficult topics like your future.
That's not easy. Most people would just scroll on their phones or watch TV, but you chose to be here. You chose to level up.
That proves that you are brave. Even if you feel like a coward sometimes, like Lucas, the fact that you are trying means you're brave.
You are already driving through the fog. You're doing it right now.
So please, be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up because you aren't a CEO yet or because your English isn't perfect yet.
Remember the pizza delivery? We want your pizza, not the box. We want your heart, not perfect grammar.
And we definitely don't want you to be a rigid stick. Be a compass.
Before we go, we have one last request. We want to hear from you.
Yes, in the comments or just in a notebook, tell us, what is one value on your compass? Is it freedom, creativity, family?
I read every single comment. It makes my day to see your answers.
Thank you for letting us be part of your day. Thank you for inviting us into your ears and your brains.
It's an honor. We'll be back next week with another episode. Hopefully, the sun will be shining then.
But if it rains, we will just make more hot chocolate.
Deal. Okay, friends, keep driving, keep trusting your compass.
You're doing great.
Have a cozy night or a wonderful day. Bye for now.
See you next time. Bye.